Technology, Lisa Finch and Albert from this school. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our session this morning on coding and technology. But don't worry if you're not a coder or you're not particularly into technology, that doesn't really matter. What we're going to talk to you about today basically covers lots of different subject areas where you can use some of the skills, some of the ideas, some of the technology, some of the hardware, some of the software, hopefully to inspire your students in other ways. Now, I'm just going to close the door. Now, Mal and myself, we work within the computing department at Desk, and up until a few years ago, we were part of something called the ICT department, Information and Communication Technology, and for many years we languished in a subject area that was sort of like starting to be almost taken for granted and forgotten within education, particularly in secondary education. We spent our days showing students how to use things like Microsoft Office, and if we got really exciting, we managed to get our hands on software like Dreamweaver and Fireworks and created websites and web graphics. And then about 2 years ago, things started to change, and all of a sudden, basically being led from the States and people like Mark Zuckerberg and organisations over there, there was a whole resurgence in the idea that our students and also teaching staff should be looking into the area of coding and programming. So all of a sudden, everyone jumped on the coding bandwagon. There were initiatives in the States which basically spread all around the world, things like Hour of Code, which some of you may have experienced in your schools. And the idea was to perhaps get students and teachers interested in programming. It's a little bit scary, programming, if you haven't encountered it before. Yes, you use math skills. We actually presented this at the What Works Maths back in the autumn, but it's not limited to maths, far from it. I'm not a mathematician. In fact, I wasn't very good at maths at school, okay? But coding and programming and many aspects of technology are linked to creative problem solving, logical thinking. Basically, it's about liberating students and letting them come up with ideas that solve problems linked to the real world problems. And when we unleash them into the real world, in 3, 4, 5 years' time, depending on the age of your students now, these are skills that are going to set them up for life. If they can become creative problem solvers and use technology in creative ways, these have got to be positive, lifelong skills that they take with them through university, into their careers and beyond. So that's where we're coming from. We don't just want them to pass exams, we want it to be much more than that. We want them to engage, we want them to have fun, we want them to solve problems. We want it to be multifaceted in the way that we approach our delivery and their engagement with technology in our school. So we're going to share some of the ways that we do that with you.
I have an announcement. If there's any principals here, the principals playground will start on the ground floor at 12:15. Okay. Thank you.
We noticed a couple of years ago, when we started investigating coding, that if we asked students to solve a problem, they wanted us to spoon-feed the answer to them, okay? Particularly with our Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4 students, so students who were about to perhaps embark on their GCSEs in the English system. That wasn't really what we wanted them to be doing. So that was when we had a change of our mindset. And we didn't just think about becoming coders. We both delivered computer programming at A-level before. We knew it had to go much further than that. So having gone from ICT to coding and programming and becoming a computing department, we then decided we had to take it to the next level and basically just become technologists. And if we all engage with technology a little bit more, because let's face it, our students do, they go home every night, they're digital natives, they go home, they spend many hour after hour using different devices and learning in different ways. We have to keep up with them. But not only keep up, we have to go ahead of them as much as we can, because if you want to draw them in, if you want to suck them into your magical world in school, and you want them to really enjoy what they're doing and learn through enjoyment and engagement, you have to try and get ahead of the game. You have to entice them. You have to make it look amazing. It has to have the wow factor. Just shoving an iPad in their hand isn't going to do it. They're doing that at the age of 2. Okay? I've got a small daughter. She's already hacked my iTunes password on numerous occasions and started downloading Barbie films like they're going out of fashion. They know what to do with these devices. The question is, do you and your colleagues? So that's another thing that I want you to think about, as we're showing you these different tools and applications that you can start to engage with. And don't be scared of it. A lot of people are scared by technology. Have a go. You want your students to be resilient risk takers, don't you? You want them to take risks, particularly creatively. You want them to try new skills. You can't just get them to rely on what they do in your classroom. That doesn't take it far enough. It doesn't equip them properly. So you have to lead by example. Okay. I'm not quite sure I like the way that this is coming up in double on the screen, but hey-ho. This is a picture that I have hanging in my classroom. It's actually taken from a MercedesBenz Albert, but I think it's really pertinent in terms of building our students into these 21st century creative problem solvers and learners. A lot of them come to me and they say, Miss, am I a left brain thinker or am I a right brain thinker? And you can see the differences, okay? We've got the nice sort of creative, organic flourishes on the right, the people who think in colour, who aren't sort of like linear thinkers. And then on the left, we've got the traditional view of the computer scientist, a bit black and white, maybe a little bit boring, thinks in straight lines, okay? I love this, but I also disagree with it completely. And I say this to the students, and I've got it hanging in my room for this particular reason. I say you have to be a little bit of both. Okay, if you're going to succeed with technology, yes, you need to be the logical thinker, but you also need to have that creative spirit, that energy that makes you look at things in a different way. If we all solved problems in the same way, we'd all be using exactly the same things in our homes, we'd all be driving the same cars, and we'd all be wearing the same clothes, and that would be a really boring world to live in. So if we want to continue along this path of iterative design, of being experimental, we need to try and encourage our students to think with both sides of their brain and set them tasks that do that, that test both these different sets of skills. Now, technology and computing, it isn't a one-trick pony. We don't just put them in a little box and say, right, there we go, learn programming, learn how to use Python, write a program. It's not like that, it's much more than that, okay? There are lots of different things that they have to master. For me, the key thing as well is innovation. Get them to think like entrepreneurs. Get them to think as if they are in control. Give them that power, empower them to become creators. Make them think that in 10 years' time they can be sitting there running their own company, developing new and innovative products, saving the world even. Get them into that mindset right from the very beginning. Now, although I work in the UK system, one of my passions is STEAM. It used to be STEM, okay, but it's pretty much the same, except they've added the arts in there, which makes sense if your students are to become these creative thinkers that we want them to be. I get a lot of ideas from what goes on in the States, in American schools, and I think that they actually really do lead the way in many respects in terms of getting our students to become more creative. So if you ever want to do any research, get on Twitter, see what the American school systems are doing in terms of STEM and STEAM, because it really is quite powerful. A lot of our projects that we create at desk involve collaboration between different areas, faculties, curriculums, whatever you want to call it, bringing them all together and producing project-based learning that really is enabling students to cover a wide range of skills, understanding and topic areas. And there's real strength in that. Like I said before, we don't want them to be boxed in. They go from one class and they learn English, they go from another class and they learn maths, then they go to another one and they learn science, and it's all fragmented. Surely there's a better way to bring them all in together, make each subject work in conjunction with another, co-create curriculums and plan them long term so that it is like a seamless transition for students when they come into school, rather than being these sort of like little boxes of learning, scattered or 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 scattered Natural, but to some it isn't. So we start off by sowing the seeds, we get them interested. With most things, you need a hook. Whether it's sport, art, music, there's always a little hook at that very beginning that gets you interested. And for us, we tell stories. We tell stories about hidden treasure, about code, treasure maps. And these are real stories. These are stories that the students can go home and they can find out about. Now the map on the board is an original map, well, a transcript of a map. And it's basically linked to a treasure that is supposedly hidden somewhere in Canada, in a place called Nova Scotia, on Oak Island. And it's also known as the Money Pit Mystery. And just recently on the History Channel, there have been a series of documentaries about it. It's a pit that has been sunk into the ground on the middle of this little island in the middle of nowhere in Nova Scotia, which is quite a remote place. Discovered about 200 years ago by some boys who were messing around. And nobody's ever really managed to suss out what is at the bottom of this pit. But it's not just any old pit. It's a very cleverly constructed pit. There are lots of different layers of material. There are trapdoors. Okay? There are special chambers. When you open one trapdoor, it automatically floods the next level down. So this was obviously constructed by someone with engineering expertise several hundreds of years ago. Some of the materials that they've brought out, bits of wooden stuff, they've managed to carbon date back to about the 1600s. There are various conspiracy theories linking this to organisations like the Knights Templar, who might have fled Europe and taken some magnificent treasure away with them and hidden it in this remote place, Nova Scotia, New Scotland, as it's translated to. So these are the sort of stories that we get the kids interested in coding in, because coding links dramatically to stories like this. If you see the inscribed stone there are some symbols on that stone. That stone was found at the money pit. There have been various attempts to try and sort of decipher it, to decode it. And whatever attempts have been made, they've never really seemed to quite match. So it's very much still an unsolved mystery. Number one, no one can find out what's at the bottom of the pit. It seems to go on forever. But number two, wouldn't it be fantastic if one of our students could actually sit there, amazingly, and decipher what is on that stone? Whether they ever will, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows if anyone's ever going to decipher it? But you have to give them that chance. You have to get them to think that, yes, I could do this. And that sort of powerful feeling is something that your students need to feel anyway, in everything that they do in your classroom. There are lots of treasure mysteries like this that involve coding. The two do seem to go hand in hand. We also take them back into the annals of history, to Roman times, to medieval times. This is a shift cipher called the Caesar cipher. It's very, very simplistic. Works by moving letters by a different number of positions, and you can decipher text. But these are the very basics of encryption that we use when we go shopping online, e-commerce, when you go on Amazon, the SSL encryption that you use to make sure that your credit card details are not hacked and stolen by third parties who are up to no good. This sort of cipher text lies at the very heart of that. This was how it started. So we also get them to engage with the history of it and find out how coding and ciphers have been used throughout time and why they've been used as well. At every opportunity, we try and get students doing things with code, okay? We have events like this. This was our Year 5 transition event, which took place at Desk last year, where we bring our smaller children up from Desk, which is the primary school, and we spent the day with them doing lots of weird and wonderful things. If you give them a role to play, and you give them a mystery to solve, trust me, they absolutely love it. They will go further to solve that mystery, just simply because they're solving it rather than the people in the next team who are solving it. They get very competitive. And that competitive spirit drives them on and makes them learn more about it. And hopefully when they've spent the day coding, they'll go home and they'll get onto the internet and they'll go onto Scratch, or they'll go onto Python, or they'll just have a look at ciphertext in general and coding and how to encode secret messages to your mates. And they'll try it out. And then maybe 2 or 3 years' time, they'll come to us and they'll say, Miss or Sir, we want to do GCSE computer science. And then we're happy. We've done that little job. We've ticked that little box because we've sparked their interest. These are some Year 9s. We get them to examine different types of ciphers, and there are many, but then we get them to make their own up as well, which is also quite a powerful learning tool, as you can imagine. So what else do we do? It's not just about coding. Technology's fast these days. It's much, much more than that. As I said earlier, it's not a one-trick pony. We use any sorts of gadgets that we can find, okay? Whether we buy them, like this one, or whether we make them ourselves. There are lots of electronics tools that allow you to make your own robots these days. Now you can start off and you can spend lots of money. You can go down the Lego route, the EV3 route, okay, which is fantastic. Expensive, but fantastic. Or you can trot down to Virgin, Cardiff City Centre or somewhere like that, and you can pick up a robot. You only need a couple of them. But as soon as the students start playing with these and experimenting with it, okay, then it becomes this powerful learning tool, because it's not just a toy. You have to program it. You have to engage with it. You have to interact with it. You have to learn how he works, how he thinks. You program him with commands, and then he starts responding to you. And his face changes colour when you ask him to do one thing that he doesn't like or another thing. Oh, well, this is getting a bit more serious, isn't it? These are sort of like those horrible words that people don't like. Algorithms, Boolean logic. Okay, a lot of this is to do with maths, but as I said earlier, trust me, me and my colleague are not mathematicians, far from it. I barely scraped a C at O level many, many years ago, okay, and that was probably a fluke. But all these things can basically be translated into other skills, okay, in other subjects. Variables are just things that change, they're values that change. Algorithms are a set of instructions, processes. If you can get students to write a process that gets them to understand something or make something, that's just the same as what we do. But it becomes very logical. It becomes a path that they can follow, and they can train themselves to follow it as well over time. And as I say, not just in our subject, but in other subjects. Problem solving, that key skill that I mentioned earlier, that lifelong learning skill that never goes away. You have to start embedding it from a young age. How many of you have used Scratch before? There's always a few people who have, okay? Scratch is great for younger students, okay? It's a very visual way of learning how to code or program. It's free, developed by those nice people at MIT, I think it was. You can download it for free. You can run it on iPads these days as well in a bit of a cut-down version. Quite straightforward to use. Even if you've got no skills in this area, download it, have a go. Be resilient. Upskill yourself. Take a little bit of time, an hour at the weekend. Play with it. Lead by example, like I mentioned. Okay, you want your students to take risks with learning. You have to step up as well. Mathematics, basic mathematics are included in pretty much everything we do, and we're going to show you a little bit more of that when we get the drones out in a few minutes, okay? So here's just a very basic example of maths, and as I say, we presented this at the Maths What Works back in the autumn term. And these are rudimentary sort of calculations. Some students find it much easier to solve the problem, the mathematical problem, by coding it, by writing code that does the same thing. Rather than thinking of it as a maths equation or calculation, they think in code. And some of them prefer it that way. Always remember, we always learn in different ways. We're all different. Now, I wasn't very good at maths. I prefer to code it. Are you very good at maths, Mr. McCrogan?
I'm not too bad, I'm alright.
You're better at maths than I am. He likes spreadsheets. I hate spreadsheets. I like the more creative side of things. Like that. Everyone loves Frozen, don't they? You go on to code.org, another free website. Your students can partake in a whole array of learning activities, exercises, problem solving, creative problem solving, all online. They can do it in your lesson time, they can do it in the library, they can do it at home, use it as homework, extend their skills. All free of charge. So that's code.org. You'd be surprised how many of the boys like doing the Frozen code activities. You might be sitting there thinking, well, we haven't got any computers, we haven't got any iPads. It doesn't matter. These skills are transferable. It's about the processes, the logical thinking, okay? You don't need a computer to be able to do all of this. It's about the thought processes, the methodology behind it, creating that spark, that innovation. That's the most important thing. Also on the code.org website, there are lots of activities for teachers who don't have the luxury of having technology in the classroom. So if you are a science teacher, an English teacher, and you want to have a go at some of this, and you want your students to have a go, it is all there. Here's another one, courtesy of Google. Everyone's jumping on the EdTech bandwagon these days. This is Blockley. This is also useful for the younger students. Also has links with geography as well. You can transfer this to Google Maps and you can decode directions and things like that. We sometimes use it with drones as well to get the students to learn about sequences and movement, how many steps forward to take, how far to move back. If they can program this, then eventually they can go into Python and they can program in that as well. It's the same logical thought processes. Lightbot is very similar, except Lightbot you move upwards and downwards, whereas the other one you can't. These are all free of charge, by the way, all found online. This is one thing, I've put this in, we just added this in the other day because we've just ordered some of these. We had a little bit of money left in the budget. Don't listen to me, Mr. Gibbs, now, okay? We thought, right, we're always trying to find ways to link to the real world, what students experience in other subjects and at home. So we're buying a couple of these, and from September, in fact, this might be our first project in this little program, courtesy of KHDA. Lovely pot of sunflower seeds, okay? We can put these sensors in the pot, and the students can download the apps onto their devices, and they can monitor lots of different things using these sensors. But then we can take it one step further. Remember I said about the PBL project with the superstructures of Minecraft? Then they can start thinking about maybe designing a sustainable farm and build it in Minecraft. Remember what I said about liberating their creative skills, letting them build something that perhaps they couldn't build in the real world, but which they can in the virtual world. Sorry?
5 minutes.
Oh, talking too much. Right, we've gone very, very quickly, okay? Same with this as well. We've all got these in the department, and next year we're going to let the students monitor our health and fitness, okay? We're lucky enough to have a gym at the school. Yeah, it's not good, is it? No. So, yeah, so they're going to monitor our weight and how much exercise we do during the day, and we're going to let them keep track of our movement, the energy we burn, even our sleeping patterns if we can manage it. But then the beauty of this is all data. This is data-rich information that the students can use in a variety of different projects. Okay, it could be that they design their own wearable technology that extends what this can do. Or it could simply be that they create a database and log all the teachers' activities, the weight, the heart rate, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so there's lots of different facets to this sort of technology that you can use in the classroom. 3D modelling. Kids absolutely adore using 3D printers, as do a lot of adults. Tinkercad, free of charge. They can use it from a young age again. They can build 3D designs, save it, export it, shove it in the 3D printer, and make whatever they want to. Tangrams. Learn about tangrams in maths. Key stage 2, I think it is. But I just look at a picture of it on a website, get the students to design their own and build their own. Then they can take them home, play with them, use them for homework, whatever. Now this is the software that runs off our 3D printer. We've got a MakerBot printer. We're very lucky to have that. As I say, we've got one. We are a non-profit school, so we're always conscious of the finances, and they are an expensive bit of kit. So my beloved MakerBot sits outside my classroom and makes things as often as it can. This is something the students designed. It's an iPhone stand. This is great. They come to you and they say, "Miss, what do you need?" "Oh, I noticed, Miss, that you've got a new iPhone 6. Yes. haven't got a stand for it. No, I haven't got one yet. Oh, we're going to make you one. Great. That's fantastic. Go away and make me one. They made me all sorts. Key rings, coffee cups as well. One of them made a coffee cup. One of them even made me an iPhone case with, I'm not sure whether you'll know this, a Tottenham Hotspur footballer's name on the back and the Spurs badge on the front, because they know that I like Spurs. So they're always very eager to make things. So we don't stamp on that. We don't say, no, you can't use it, you can't do that. You know, it's not the right time. We let them use it. That's what it's there for. It doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the school, it belongs to everybody, it belongs to them. It's their creativity that it belongs to. Okay, some of the things that we made. I'm going to list through. Okay, mentioned that already. Great thing about Minecraft is you can import buildings and structures from 3D design into Minecraft now. Our students built the whole inside of our school, all the buildings, the whole campus in Minecraft. We used it the other week for a competition, an inter-house competition. Next year, we're hoping to actually fill the classrooms in each block with learning content. So when they go into the science block, they can actually engage with science resources, books, with revision notes in, activities, quizzes that the other students build. Oh, we're going to have enough time.
I think this finishes my for a minute.
No!
2 minutes. Okay. This is the 3D software that we use for the 3D printing. And this is the software, the interface that the students would use when they're creating the iPhone holders, the iPad holders, or the phone cases. And what we like to try and do is we like taking this technology. This is super, this is brilliant. But we also have our other toys. And we want to find a way of how we can combine these things together to make one product more useful than the other. So what we've designed here, it's very small. It's just this. But what we had challenged the students was to come up with a way of taking a drone, this little drone here, and making it more than what it is. At the minute it's great, it flies up and down, sideways, it will do a couple of flips forward and back. But that's all it does. Okay, so they have to go off and research, they have to find out about drones, they need to find out how they're used in the real world and what's their potential. And with that, we told them that they had to build something, design something that could be attached to it to make it more worthwhile. So some of the things that they came up with was the ID cards being distributed, and they thought that they could come up with something similar. So they also designed this, a little card holder. And some of the things that they had to consider, obviously, was the weight. They had to consider how this was going to affect the airflow. So we're able to link into the other subjects. We're able to consider the maths and the science within it as well. But then they actually get a chance to see if it works. It does work, normally. I'll give you a very, very quick demonstration because I know we're out of time. But their idea behind this was that they could create their own cards that they could distribute and fly around. Oh, it does work. Or take it further, put it on the bigger drones, like the one we have here, the Phantom that we lovingly call Derek, and maybe start advertising. So then they can take that around and they can start advertising. So the drone is no longer just a simple toy or a tool to be entertained. It is something that can become useful, can be useful for business. I'm just going to take it down before I didn't think about it. But that's how that works. With this one, I'm not going to get a chance to demonstrate this one. This one's quite fun. There's so much technology on it. This uses Wi-Fi. It uses GPS. And what we're able to do with that is we're able to get the students to start thinking about distance and range and angles
as well as teach them technology. So we have a Wi-Fi extender. We connect it to the phone. We're able to view all the images from the camera straight onto our phones. They're able to see this technology, but they're actually able to use it as well. And that's what it comes down to. One of the other drones we have, and I am rushing very quickly, another drone we have here, it doesn't fly, but it will move around. And in the primary sector, you will see them using the small turtles. On the computer, Lisa talked about the light bulb, being able to control an object to move forwards or backwards or turn. This brings that into a third dimension because this will also jump. So the students can start thinking about mapping out, but they can think about it in different levels. So they can set up a map, they can set up a course in the classroom and work out the maths and the angles to actually get the little drone to move around the classroom and complete the course. I have a video, I don't think we have time to show it, but what we're able to do with these drones is get the students to become more involved, to become more engaged, and get excited about it as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to me droning on about my passions and how we engage the students. If any of you want to find out more about technology and want to attend some free workshops, we are running Tech Fest on Saturday the 6th of June from 11 till 3 at Dubai English Speaking College. It's not just us that are running workshops, we've got other teachers from Jess and other organisations in the Gulf, and it's all free of charge. Bring yourselves, bring your family, bring your students, everyone is welcome. Thank you very much.